All right, we should be good to go now. All good here. My name is Boyan Petreski. This is February 8th, 2022. This is the Futures and Now session. Yep, we are all set. Just wanted to make sure we're all good, and it looks like we are. All right, so the disclaimer is there for your use, your understanding, and for your understanding that this is for educational and instructional purposes only. We'll be doing the Futures Now session today. This is the current market environment. This is the agenda for today. We'll be looking at the current market environment, execute on new opportunities, and then manage those same opportunities. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the session for today. Let's bring in Trade Station here. Open up our workspace, and we'll get going. Alrighty. So this is our workspace where we look at, if you don't have something like this, that's okay too. It's not, the end of the world. It does make it a little easier for us because it tells us, hey, things are approaching a certain place or a certain aspect of, where a trade may be closer to being executed. For example, as we see here, the condition column, right? There's either near sensible short, or near hopeful short, or near hopeful short, right? We have four different conditions here, and then one that is unconfirmed here. That's probably because that market is just changing directions rather either quickly or as we're looking at it. So the first one that we're going to open up right now is the Russell. So let's go ahead and open up the Russell here. So that's the RTY on the 15-minute. And we'll get started in just a sec on all of it here. All right, there we go. We have the Russell open. So a couple things that we need to look at first. On the bottom here, as you see, we have a 15-minute time frame chart. That 15-minute time frame chart is the one that gives us the directionality of the market that we're looking at. So, in this scenario, it's a 15-minute time frame, right? Because we're looking for quick in and out trades. Even preferably if we can get our T1 before the market opens, and then if we're right on the direction, just ride that wave down, or in this scenario, ride that wave down. The bottom line is that this 15-minute time frame, or the climate that we have on the bottom here, is what's going to give us that directionality, or if we should not be trading at all. In this scenario, yes, the market, the RTY is saying that, hey, look for short opportunities. So it is answering the question of should we be trading, yes or no. So let's go ahead and analyze and see, if there's anything that we could potentially trade right where we are right now. So kind of focusing still on this bottom time frame here. I'm just going to blow it up a little bit. I'll turn off these audio UFOs just so they don't distract you. The reason why we have it just with dots is because we don't really care too much where this exact price is, as long as it's below this gray line here. As you see, it's 2006.62. Currently it's at 2006.2. So this is still a valid place to be looking for short opportunities because we do have a confirmed down climate. Now, what this gray line represents is a moving average. It's an exponential moving average, a 9 EMA. The 9 EMA gives us the place where we should be looking around at to get in on a trade. Now, when I say around that doesn't sound very, specific, or doesn't sound very, objective. Like, what do you mean by around? Around could be, 16 and 04. So should we just go in short right now? Right? No. So that's not what we're saying. We're saying that we're going to look for opportunities in this area because of the fact that the moving average represents sort of as a a line in the sand where orders get added typically, right? Sometimes they get canceled and switched. That also happens as well. But most of the time, what we see is that there is a little bit of either resistance when we're trying to get in on a trade at the 90 MA, or there might be support if the price is coming down towards the EMA rather than the way it is right now, where it's going up to it. All right, give me 1 second, folks. So, as I said, orders get typically they get added at a 90 MA on a common time frame like this, the 15-minute time frame. So now where we get these orders added, is towards the side that we're looking to go to. Now, right here, we're looking to go short. Now, where do we actually enter, right? Because we see that moving average is at 2006.5. 2006.5 is like, right around here somewhere. So right around here somewhere is where we would like to see a red UFO, right? Unfortunately for us right now, we just don't have that, right? And that's okay. If there was one right there, then that exact setup would be where we would enter. Our stop would be above the red UFO. Our T1 would be a 1-to-1 from entry to stop, so about here somewhere maybe. And then our final target is the one that we would revert back to the common time frame to see where profits can be taken based on where the nearest opposing UFO is. So that's the concept that we utilize to get into these trades and get out of them. There's also a few more advanced things that can be done to it was a all right. Sorry, I just saw the chat message because I had a different window open here down here, but now I have it open. So and I see the message. Let me see what happened with mine here. I thought yeah, there we go. We're all good. Okay. So even though we have a UFO that almost quite makes it, right? We have this UFO up here. As you see, this UFO, when I click on it, and I'll freeze it here, you see that it starts at 2007.8. Our moving average is above that. I'm sorry, below that because we were going short. Our moving average is below that. Therefore, we cannot enter a short utilizing this UFO up here because we would not be trading it according to our plan. So that is, more or less. There are a few more, specific rules on what to do, how to trail it. But let's see if we can find a trade because I believe in it's a lot easier to show than talk about. So let's see that the Euro 60-minute is also flashing as a near sensible short. So let's go ahead, open that up real quick and see what's going on. All right, 60-minute. Now I think we're on the March contract as well on this one. Pretty sure we are. Yep. All right. So similar situation here. 142.45. So 1424. So 1424. Oof, this is just above it. What about this guy here? 235. Okay, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a little confused here. So yeah, let's go ahead and blow this up a little bit so it's a little easier to see. But this UFO will actually meet the criteria of the moving average being at the location where it's enveloped by a UFO. So 235 is our entry here. For some reason, I was confusing some of the numbers. So the stop now, let's go ahead and place the stop. See, this UFO ends at 32, right? 1432. Since this is a euro contract, I typically like to give it not just one tick, but two. So 1330, 1433. For some reason today, numbers are not my uh, forte. 14, oops. So 14, 14, 33 minus 14, 23.5. Made no sense. 1.1433 minus 1.14235. There we go. So 0.00095. So that's, I want to say 45 ticks. So we minus that 1.14235. So our T1 should be at 1414 right there. So that's our T1. Now for our final target, our T2, we're going to go a little bit lower here. And there we go. We're in the trade. All right. Okay, so we should be good with that. Actually, no, we need to find the where our final target is. So 330. Yeah. Okay. Should be good there. And this one should be at 1414. All right. And our final target, as I said, will need to be based on this chart down here. We're going to enable the auto UFO so we can find the first opposing one. So based on our rules, because price was trading within this UFO, we're going to disregard this UFO and we're going to utilize this one below here where this huge move happened from. So let's go ahead and do that. So looking at that, we're looking at 11307. So 1307 will be where this final target is. I'm just going to enable chart trading here. And instead of dragging, so we're going to do 1307. Place that order. Yes. Done. All right. So now the one thing that I always like to do is take a screenshot of this because that'll give you an idea of like, hey, this is what we were looking at when we were taking this trade. 2022 0208 EC, and this is the 1 hour setup. Okay. So that's that. We're all good with that. That trade is set up. Now, if you do guys this setup, is valid and is already in place. One thing, I don't know if this is going to last that long, but just in case to be ready for it, right? Uh, Another rule that we utilize to basically, tell us like, hey, we got in at the right place, but let's say, we got in here and all this market does is it just does this, right? It just goes up, down, up, down, up, down, doesn't do anything. So we do have a rule where, we had several things working in our favor, right? We had the market climate, which was a confirmed down climate. We have a UFO here, a UFO there, a 9 EMA being in basically corresponding to the same area as well as a potential place where we can add orders at. Um, Obviously, this is moving quite rapidly against us, but that's okay. What quickly goes up quickly comes down. As long as we don't get stopped out, we might see a very quick, sharp move to the downside. Um, Coming back to it though, if for example, this is the candle that we got on, this is the candle that we got filled on, if within these 1, 2, 3 candles we don't get our T1. So if within this period we don't get our T1, what we're going to go ahead and do is cancel the trade. All right. So what we're going to do is, for example, let's say price just, goes there, comes down, stays there, comes back up, maybe goes lower, stays down, and then that's when this, let's say it goes up a little bit, and this is where it opens, right? So that's a little bit in profit. What we're going to do is we're going to close this trade at market as soon as that new candle opens. That means, by the time, the U.S. market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So about, 14 minutes after the U.S. market's open, if this hasn't given us our T1 or it hasn't stopped us out, we're going to go ahead and get this closed out for either a small loss or a small win, right? So it's either, unless it goes to a full stop or a T1. So those are the options that we have. Those are the rules that we follow. All right. So let me know if you guys have any questions or any comments in the chat box there. All right. So it doesn't bode well that we have a green UFO here. However, the climate is still in our favor. So that's what we have going for us, right? The orders got filled. Now we have green UFOs here. Obviously, we're short, so those are opposing UFOs, not our best friends right now. However, I also tend to look at these as magnets. Price tends to kind of gravitate towards them to get them filled. So as of right now, nothing else to do here. Let's take a look and see if we have something on the RTY, and it does look like we do. Yes, we do. So here it is, 2005 4. 2005 4. Now this is something that I also want to be fully transparent, right? I kind of hope this just stops out so I can get in this trade. Otherwise, we should not be getting into two trades that where you haven't gotten your T1 first, where you haven't secured some profits. But I'm just setting this up because the euro looks like it's going to stop out, and if it does, it is what it is. It's actually a few ticks away from stopping out. Let's see here, 2007. Okay. Oh, we got filled on RTY actually. Okay, so RTY, the stop is up there at 2007.2. Right, I just want to make sure to take some screenshots of this, and then I was doing the math to see 2007.2 minus 2005.4, so minus 2005.4. So our T1 is at 2003.6. Let's get that move, 2003.6. Our final target is going to be nowhere in sight, so we cancel that. That means we're just going to do a trail stop, and I definitely want to take a screenshot of this before it runs away from us, right? Okay, there's the screenshot, save 2022 0208, and this is the RTY 15-minute setup. All right, a bit of movement there. The euro is still hanging on. That's pretty cool to see. RTY moving against us. 2007.2 is the proper place for the stop. Our T1, look at that, came within a tick of stopping out, guys. 2003.6 is T1. Okay, as long as this holds here and doesn't just wick us out, it would be nice. Okay, we got wicked out. That's okay. Let's go ahead and take a screenshot of that. So that was a stop. So 2022 0208 RTY 50-minute exit stop. To the tick, pulls back now. Euro is still kind of just hanging out there deep in the red, but oh man. Well, that's just painful to see. All right, let's see if we were right on the direction. Maybe we were not. Maybe things are going to change as the market opens, which is about 4 minutes from now. NQ is given the same thing. ES is given the same thing. Crude oil sensible long. So let's go ahead and open all of these up. I definitely want to see the ES first, then the NQ, and then crude on the 15 because the market's about to open. And typically things tend to move a lot faster when the market just opens. Okay. All right. So the NQ looks like it does have a UFO that we could take that it just came from. So 519.37. 519 37 would be 519 half. Actually, 25. Yeah. Stop. We need to be above that UFO. There we go. That one's in. All right. Now, as I said, the stop is at 34.75. 34.75 is the stop. Let's put that 34.75 there. 34.75 there. T1 is going to be 310 here, right there. And our final target is going to be, final target is not to be seen. Okay, so that's it for that one too. Let's go ahead and cancel that and take a screenshot of this too, right? A lot of stuff happening at the same time. The market's about to open too. So 2022 0208, and this is NQ 50-minute setup. All right. Oh man, moving against this again. Sometimes just the way it is. 14.503.75 is that one. All right. We are 4 minutes away from the open. ES would be pretty much the same trade, except we don't have a trade on the ES because it's there's no UFOs there. Crude oil was a long. Let's see if we have anything nearby. 89.90. Okay, and looks like we do at 89.90. Look at that, a lot of trades, guys. This is good to see. All right, 67 is the stop. All right, let's go ahead and put that on. 90. Okay, stop is at 67. So that's 33 ticks. So plus that'll be 23 up here. So that will be T1. And now for T2, I'm just going to move this up here for now and see if we have anything, because I don't know if we do. Oh, we do. Look at that. It's at 90.51. All right, 90.51 right there. All right, let's take a screenshot of this too. And we are ready for the open. 2022 0208 CL 15-minute setup. All right, how's the NASDAQ doing? Coming close to that T1. Come on, NASDAQ, you can do it. Why not? All right, that's what we like to see. It'd be nice. I mean, optimal scenario, best case scenario, getting this T1 before the open and, just basically riding it down as it keeps going. Wait, did it already pop T1? I think Did it pop T1? Because on my other platform here, it's showing that it did. 14,528. Hold on, let me double check that. I think it might have already hit it. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's just a discrepancy here on my end, but 0375, 310. No, it didn't. It didn't, not yet. I think it must be something with my other platform here. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna. Wait. Something definitely looks a little strange here. All right. It's a little weird. So let's look at crude. Hasn't filled just yet. All right, here we. Oh, there it is. There's that T1. Okay, yeah, no, something's weird. I'm just gonna close this. When things are weird, try to get out of it as best as you can without getting hurt too much financially. Yeah, something strange was happening here. So look, it's still on. I don't. Yeah, something's. I don't know what the heck happened there. I'm sorry about that, folks. Hopefully. Oh, crude filled. There we go. Crude just filled. So crude filled, but why did it stop there? That's a little bizarre what's happening, right? Like we had everything set pretty nicely. Okay, well, crude just changed climate, so even if things don't work out right now, we can just even if you're in this with me, you can just close it at market, whatever it is, because the climate just changed. And when the climate changes, you don't want to be behind that. So, yeah. Trying to figure out like what could have happened here, and I'm not seeing anything. That's like giving me an indication of what went wrong, but something definitely did. So ES, all right. So we were good to get out when we got out there because obviously things changed, right? Look at that rocket up. Okay, I'm not quite sure why crude because I'm looking at the screenshot here that we took. The stop was at 89.67. It never got to 89.67. 67 is all the way down here. So realistically speaking, you would be in this trade correctly. You know, as soon as this climate changed, though, you should have been out. But again, you know, here's the screenshot, right? I could be wrong, you could be wrong, anyway, but the screenshot can't be wrong because that's a, you know, a piece of information that you took and that's it. You can't change. So I'm not quite sure why TradeStation took me out of the trade. But you know, sometimes things just happen like that. What are you gonna do? All right, so the euro has gone down, right? It hasn't stopped us out. A new UFO has formed up there, right where we were in at. So let's see what happens. You know, it may come down, right? Obviously, right now it's moving really slow. Obviously, not like the markets that we're in, but let's see what happens. Crude falling down, okay, quite rapidly, if I may add. There we go. So that would have been a stop out regardless of what happens. So closing the trade when we did would have actually served our purpose, because obviously it just it stopped us out there. Um, yeah, but let's see what's going to happen, because it looks like it's moving quite fast. The euro is also kind of going in our direction, not quite to the degree of what some of these other ones are moving at, but you know we are where we are, right? ES came all the way down, Nasdaq all the way down. Man, oh man, huh? Isn't that so fun? I mean, you see stuff like this and you can't help it but smile. Right? It's just kind of crazy. um, Only to see it go right back right back up. um, yeah, it's cool. So obviously a lot of movement, right? And if you're not comfortable with this much movement, and obviously right now I can only screen share one screen, but I would like to see this all of this movement of these pairs on a different screen, just so I can have an idea, like, hey, a lot of movements going on, and then go from there. Obviously, right now, for the day, RTY pretty much unchanged. 0.5% down on the Nasdaq, a quarter of a percent down, a third of a percent down on the ES now. So they're pretty much kind of like stuck in the middle. The Dow is the one that's actually holding strong, that's still in positive land. Um, and now the RTY joining in for just a little bit. So let's see what's going to happen. A lot of movement, a lot of price action going on. Crude is definitely has taken the cake here as far as moving in a designated, in a determined direction. Let's call it. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have anything that's popping? So right now, okay. So the ES is still giving a sensible short. Currently kissing that 9 EMA after its up and down movement. It looks like it might be stabilizing here. If we see a UFO pop somewhere around this area, I'll be going in that market, hoping to catch some of this move in case this becomes a collapse. Because as you see right now, it's at this 71.5. So 71.5, it's right at the moving average. Still in a confirmed down climate. I would like to take advantage of it if it starts moving down. Um, right now, though, still indecision on where it wants to go. So we'll see, I suppose. All right, so not much else going on with these markets. A lot of movement. Okay, so we are back to break even on the euro. Okay, a little bit in the profit right now. Let's see if we can get this thing to turn around a little bit and maybe give us a T1. Why not? We'll take it. It's not a whole bunch of money, 118 bucks on one contract, but it's nice to see after flirting with the stop by a tick, right? So let's see what happens. We may see a nice downward move here. The euro also sometimes, when it wants to move, it moves. I mean, and it moves fast. This candle is going to be, this is the 8:44, so this is going to close in about 6 minutes from now, so we got some time on it. If we hear order filled, that means we got our T1, unless something sharp happened the other way. um, yeah. ES now still moving upward, but no confirmation on climate. 6 minutes from now, we're going to have a confirmation on these climates as well. So, look at RTY pushing the chart down. Right? That's when you know things are moving like real fast. Okay, so sensible long on gold and nat gas. Let's not waste our time, folks. Nat gas 60 and gold 60. Okay. All right. Let's get this chart organized a little bit. So 42.78, 42.78 right there. 291 it starts, goes down to 70. So this one UFO here would be the entry. I'll be honest with you, it's looking really mediocre, but sometimes it's those mediocre trades that just end up working out, and it's the craziest thing. So NASDAQ, not doing much. Let's go ahead and set this up. Bring our trusty calculator out. So getting in at 4.29 minus 4.269 is 21 ticks. So plus 4.29, 43.11. So I move this one up here. All right, now our final target would be all the way up with S. So nice risk to reward ratio, right? If it gets there, 47.99. So we're gonna take this lower one. So 4799. Place that order. Yes. All right. So now that's our, let's print screen. That's our nat gas 2022 0208. And this is the NG 50-minute setup. And actually, this is NG 60-minute. I'm sorry, 60-minute setup. That's nat gas. Now, we did have gold as well. Gold is not on the G contract. Let's see what contract gold is on here. This is what I typically use to see where most volume is. And as you see, it's on the J on the April contract. So GCJ22. And I'm going to share with you the link to this so you can have it. That's right there. And I'm going to show it too. So that's that one. Bar chart, futures, most active. And of course, you don't have to use the metal stuff. You can just use it / most active and it'll take you to the full list. All right, so let's go to GCJ22. Okay. Confirmed up climate. Oof, quite a few UFOs there, and it looks like we may have missed this 21. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to take this because here's the problem with it, right? Technically speaking, I could take it even up here at 23 because 21.4 is within this UFO here, even though it's at the bottom of it, it's fine. You could take it, but the problem is my stop has to be all the way down here at 18.15.9. So that's just unnecessarily large risk to take. All right, ES is giving us another opportunity here 71, selling it at market, moving the stop at 75, even actually 75, and 375 is here. Again, I don't think we had anything down below, so I'll just put it here. I want to just take a quick screenshot of this before it runs away from us. So 2022-0208, and this is the ES 50-minute setup. Okay, traveling towards the stop rather quickly. Typically, when I see it like this, when I want to get in a market, I'm really hoping to be catching the move, in the right direction. But sometimes you can't, not all the time. So let's see what happens. Oh boy, looks like the euro just turned on us, didn't it? Yep. All right, closing that at market, and that's that one for this, which is okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, folks. Sorry about that. I'm back. All right. How do we do? Oof. Looks like the ES stopped out. I'll need to start moving down. Oh yes, you're no fun. Okay. Looks like the NG also stopped out. Wow. And yeah, still a confirmed climate. Just went touch and go. That's okay. Sometimes we get those days, and that's what it is. It's all right. Sometimes when you get these several in a row, right, you do your little happy dance. Well, you got to be okay with taking some of these losses in a row. If you're not okay with it, then you should definitely maybe have a rule that says, hey, if I get 2 or 3 stops in a row, I'm gonna stop trading for the day because it's gonna throw me off my game. So, and that's quite okay. All right. I think that's pretty much it for the day. Today I see gold is touching on a few of those. Nasdaq confirmed up, barely holding on, right on the move there. Crude just went. Whew. Wow. Look at crude. So, yep. The euro finally collapsing now on the candle of exit. Come on. I mean, the euro. That's okay, folks. Let's just double check here our record keeping. Let's just see here. So, we have the EC, the RTY exit, the NQ. The NQ and the crude that we had first set. I think the NQ made money, but then something happened to it, and it just ended up going crazy. With I don't know, something with the platform. Let me just take a screenshot of this here on nat gas that it did stop out. 2022 208 and G 60-minute exit stop. And then, of course, the ES also did the same thing, only to start moving in our direction after stop out. 2022 0208 ES 50-minute exit stop. And so I'm just lining them up here to make sure we got everything covered. Crude. So crude, if we caught it early on that drop, which I'm not quite sure why it did this, but let me just double check something here. It says it got in here and got out there. So basically, went in at 90 and closed itself out at 97. Um, the issue with documenting this one, right? As soon as when did it fill? What's the exact time it filled? At 35 at 9:30. Okay, and at 9:30 it was still green, but then as soon as this one is basically at 9:30:01. All right, so we would have not been in this trade because this candle opened at 9:30:31, as you see there. So this would have been 9:30, 9:30:31, so 31 seconds to fill this candle. Essentially speaking, I'm gonna count this for a small loss, mainly because, or even here, small win, but I'm just gonna call it as a small loss because we would have gotten in on an unconfirmed climate, right? Because this candle opens as soon as this 9:30 ends. So as soon as this one ends, this one opens, meaning it opened unconfirmed. So if we had it on a different screen. For example, what I do is typically when I'm getting in on trades, I will put that on a separate screen so I can see it at all times. So we would have caught it and closed it for a small loss or maybe a small win like it did here. I don't know how, but it did. And so I'll count this one as a small loss because we got in on a climate change that was not favorable to the trade. 20208 CL 15-minute exit due to climate. All right, and that's the documentation for that one. The NQ, I could count it as a small winner because it definitely went in our favor before it made that giant move up, right? So we were up quite a few $100 here. Didn't quite get to our T1, or did it actually? Let me just double check. I think it did touch our T1. So 14,503.75. 14,503 on this collapse down. 14,500. Yep. So that would have been actually at worst a break-even trade, but then now I see that my stop was within a UFO on the share bar, which I don't understand how that's possible on my screenshot. So, we could jot this down as an error, or we can jot it down as a small winner. Because I clearly on my screenshot here, I have it as an error. I'm going to jot it down as an error. So I'm just going to basically discard it and say, even though this probably made some money for somebody, I'm going to screenshot this and I'm going to say this was an error. So 220208 NQ 15-minute exit error. Okay. And that just leaves us with the euro. So the euro on the 60-minute, of course, it goes right now to the T1. And it actually still is a valid trade, right? We have 3 UFOs that formed in that same location. So this one we're going to say it was a small loser. 0208. This is EC 1 hour exit time stop. Small loss. All right, folks, that is that for today. Hope you found this session helpful, and I will catch you next time. Thank you so much. Take care.